going on, guys? And welcome back to the real world. A former cheerleading coach out of Orange County, California, was recently convicted on 23 felony counts for molesting 10 young girls between the ages of 9 and 16 with crimes dating back to the early 2000s. Yeah, all the way back to the early 2000s. He faces a potential sentence of 165 years to life in prison, with sentencing scheduled by March of 2026. Now, let's get into this case, right? And like I always tell y'all, there's two sides to every story, and I have them both, right? Let's get to the. Okay, first of all, this guy is about 43 years old. His name is Eric Christensen, right? White male. At the time of his arrest, after all this time, he was in Florida, and he had already been accused of other molestation charges there, which he had made bail for. Almost 2 decades after he had committed these other crimes back in the early 2000s, which was like 2005 with one of the chicks, because one of the victims, she said that she was 14 years old when she met him and he was 21, and he was a cheerleading coach there. While he was a coach there, he started texting her like flirtatious type texts and things like that. And then eventually he ended up having sex with her in a car and at a community center around the way. That's one accused out there in California, which he was questioned for way back then, but he was released. I guess they didn't have enough substantial evidence to hold him. So he got off on that. Decades later, here we go again. He's accused of jacking off to videos of young girls out there in Florida. But anyway, that's one accuser, the 14-year-old. Well, she was 14-year-old. She was 14 years old then. Another accuser was 11-year-old, where she said she met him through his younger brother. She was friends with his younger brother. She said that he had molested her while watching a movie. They was watching a movie one day, and he molested her. There was a 9-year-old, right? Back in the 2000s. Now these people are all of them grown now, but they were kids when this happened, and he was in his 20s. Well, it's his early 20s on some of them. Some of them he was his late 20s, going into his 30s. This girl right here was 9. She said that he put her on his lap during the competition, a cheer competition, and he had an erect penis. So that's crazy, man. Now, that's the type of scumbag that we're dealing with here. I'm just trying to get y'all to, trying to give y'all an illustration of what you're dealing with here. So when that happened, the police kind of got wind that this guy was a sick fucking pedophile piece of shit. And what they did was they called him in and what have you. And like I said, they didn't have enough substantial evidence to keep him. Well, years later, there's allegations that he was jacking off to some videos of some little kids in Florida, where he was coaching out there. And When those allegations came out, they actually arrested him. They had enough evidence to arrest him, but he did post bail, and he had stipulations on his bail, you know, to where he couldn't leave the country and all these things like this. So the officers, the marshals, end up, you know, going to his house in Florida and arresting him on warrants for the allegations that happened in the early 2000s with these other young girls, while he's waiting trial for the other charges. So it's like 10 girls in all. Now, let's get into what I think about this. First thing first, like I told you, this guy was 21 years old, a male that was over a female cheerleading squad. The average man and I'm going to say average because I truly believe that, you know, most men are not scumbags like this. But these type of men give all men a bad name. Most men would not opt in to being a cheerleader coach in general. We don't want to be nowhere around no cheerleading activities unless we sitting back watching some grown-ass women cheerleading. This grown-ass man, he was a young man, but he was a grown man, opted in. That's the first red flag. Opted in to be a cheerleader for middle school girls and high school girls. On top of that, the parents said, oh, he's a good guy. They must have said he's a good guy. Oh, I trust him. As men, I'm talking to y'all men right now. Real men. Stand-up men. Protectors. Providers. Would you want to be a cheerleading coach for middle school girls, high school girls, elementary girls, any of that? If the answer is yes, you a fucking pedophile. Ain't no motherfucking way. Ain't no way I want to be a cheerleader around no young ass girls. I don't want to be nowhere around no young ass girls. Period. Once you grown, bro, it don't even feel right to be alone with young girls or be around them. It's frustrating to be honest with you. It's like they kids. Now, if we talking about an NFL team where you got grown women out there cheerleading, that's a whole different ball game. But ask yourself, we have to think logically, man, as adults when protecting our kids. You got a daughter, don't let your kid go out here and be involved in a cheerleading squad where the coach is a motherfucking man. Ask yourself, be realistic, bro. What kind of man would want to be a cheerleading coach for a bunch of adolescent teens, females? A pedophile will. That's who would do it. I see this shit all the time, bro. Same thing when it come down to female guards in prisons or male guards in prisons. If the male is in a female prison, you got to ask yourself, why is he in there? Same thing with a woman. Why is she in a male facility? Why is she opting into that? It's predatory behavior. See, a lot of times, bro, things is what it is, but we don't want to believe it. I blame the parents, too, for these things. That's what I'm getting at. I blame the parents for their children being molested in this way. How in the hell is your 11-year-old daughter watching a movie with a grown-ass man? in that 11-year-old's case. The one that said she was 11 years old and she got raped by him. Right? Why is your 9-year-old daughter sitting on a grown man's lap? Why is your 14-year-old daughter going to a motherfucking dance with a grown-ass man that's supposed to be a coach? Why does he even have her phone number to text her? See, we be living in agreement. Like, oh, okay, well, everybody doing it. Oh, John them over there, they daughter do it and all this shit. That's John them. That's your daughter. At this point, bro, if you got little kids, ain't no slumber parties, none of that. Your kids ain't coming by my house, and I ain't allowing, and my kids ain't going by your house. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. They got creeps out here, man. Like I say, real men do not want to be around no motherfucking body else's kids alone. When it really boils down to it, you really don't want to do that. So as parents, you got to ask yourself, why is this person okay with that? Why is this person trying to occupy a position in a profession to where they got access to these kids? That's your job to protect your kids. So I'm so glad that they locking this scumbag up, and I hope he get everything that's coming to him. And for all my dogs that's locked down, put some pain on this boy. Break him off. I'm telling you, break him off. Don't show him no mercy, no love. Because what he did here, bro, this is of the devil. When you got somebody doing some shit like this to kids, bro. This is a soft spot for me. You understand? But we got to start holding these parents accountable when they come out of these type of situations. I've been saying that since day one. This ain't them kids' fault. This the parents and that pedophile fault. That sexual fucking predator. That piece of shit. That's what this is. Because at that age when he was having sex with those girls, they couldn't consent to nothing. Their brain wasn't even up. Their brain is not developed at all. But this scumbag basically ruined these children. Well, they were children then, they're adults now. They got to live with that. So every relationship they have with males, they going to be on guard every time. It's going to affect them in ways subconsciously they don't even realize. And that goes for males or females that have been molested. And yes, you do have males that have been molested by older women when they were kids. Believe that. And as males, we feel like, hey man, it's okay. You understand? But it's not really, because then if you a male and you was molested as a little boy, guess what? You might look at women differently. You might look at women as sex objects all your life. You see what I'm saying? It has an effect. And if it's vice versa with a girl, I'm pretty sure it make them feel like all men is scumbags. They don't trust them. You see what I'm saying? So accountability. A lot of things in this life, man, resort back to accountability. But good job to those officers that locked this scumbag up, and I hope that he goes to hell while he's in jail and then goes to hell when he gets out of jail, which is through death. But that's my take on that, man. Don't let your kids suffer because you are not thinking. It's your job to protect. Till next time, it's been real. I'm Will. All I'm trying to do is just get y'all to think about it. Peace.